Hello everyone, Colby here, and today I am going to be starting a tutorial series for programming and starting off with Visual Basic. So I'm going to introduce basically a bit about what I know about programming, how I started, and how you can start using hopefully my tutorials. So what you'll need to do first of all is go and download the compiler. Now I know that probably sounds like gobbledygook to you. You don't know what that means or something, and I'm gonna try my best to sort of go over what all of these different terms mean and what you will need to know to be able to program in Visual Basic. So I'm going to be teaching it almost like I started, almost like I'm just starting now. So I will teach you all the terms, and I'll try and make it as easy for you to follow as possible. So yeah, you want to go over to visualstudio.com/enus downloads. It will be in the description below, and you want to go and download Visual Basic 2010 Express. You just simply click install now. You get yourself a key by registering your email, and you will be able to use Visual Basic. So when you've downloaded it and opened it, you will pop onto this screen. Now this probably looks pretty, nothing looks familiar apart from the save button and the open button. But first of all, what you want to do is you want to go to new project, and this form will pop up. Now you want to go onto Windows Forms application. It will already be default selected, and you want to give your name, your project, a name. So I want to do tutorial number 1. So when you've done that and you've clicked OK, it will generate a form for you, and this is where, when you run your program and when you start your program, basically you will see this form. Right now it is unedited, it's completely blank. If I went to run my program, to start my program, by clicking that green arrow, you will see it just pops up. It has nothing on it, and it's named Form 1. Don't worry too much about all of these different bars on the side. I'll get to them either in this episode or in a few other episodes. So the first thing I think we should do is familiarize ourselves with our form. Now this form is where you will be doing all of your design, where you will be making your program like how it looks, and there's a behind the scenes, which is where you will put your programming. So first of all, I want you to go and to have a look at the properties. It's down here in the bottom right, and you will see that we have a load of different characteristics, so to say, attributes to this form. So we have, for instance, its name, the text, say Form 1, we have whether it's transparent, the size of it, and so on. So I think the first thing would give it a suitable text. So what we are going to do is we are going to type in hello form. So basically this is what we were going to be learning on this first episode, how to sort of just make it so when I click a button it will show you how to say it will basically pop up with hello. So let's give it a name, shall we? So Form 1, if you think about it, okay, you have a program and it'll have multiple forms. You don't want it to have Form 1 because that may confuse you. So let's simply name it hello. Okay? So after we've done that, we want to get programming, don't we? If you're interested in programming, hopefully these tutorials will be able to help you, but you want to get programming. But before we do that, I want us to click on Toolbox. This will show up a load of different things that we can drag onto our form and use. Notice how we have button, we have text box, picture box, different things like this. So what we want to do is drag on, simply click and hold and drag on a button. Not only that, but we want to go back to the toolbox and get a label. Now you'll notice these both have properties much like the form. So we want to start the thing I recommend is always starting by giving a name to your items on the form and the form itself. So this button 1, let's type CMD. This is because it will hold a command. We want it to have a command. You don't have to name it like this, but it's easier when you want to pull up a list of all of the different things to have CMD at the start and then have hello. This will mean now that I know what it's called and I can easily reference it in my code. So now let's give it the name show hello. So when I click it, it will turn this label from that text to hello. So let's give the label a name. Since it's a label, I normally start off with LBL. It basically is my way of knowing, right, I'll call labels LBL, anything that has a command CMD, and do it that way. So now after that, we want to give it a suitable name. So LBL hello. Okay, so we've got this. We won't change the text because we're going to do that with our code. So the first thing you want to do to access your code, you have a number of options. You can press F7 or you can double click your form. If you double click your form, it will generate this. So I recommend you double click it for this tutorial. So now once you've double clicked, you will notice this. Now don't worry about this, okay? I will explain this in a different tutorial, but right now you don't really need to know what that is. So the first thing you want to do is we want to sort of have a look at what we want this to do. So when you're programming, you will eventually learn how to do everything, but I always recommend if you're starting a program, you should type out what you want the program to do. So if you click the apostrophe, it will show up the apostrophe in green. That means that any text that goes behind it won't actually count as code. It's sort of just a way for us to label our code. So if you have a long amount of code, you can simply put that there and that can remind you what that piece of code does. For example, what we want to do is that when a button is clicked, a label will display the words hello. So that's what we want, that's our aim for this tutorial. So the first things I recommend you do is familiarize yourself with how to address the form. In Visual Basic, if you want to use anything with the form, you have to type me. This is basically, instead of typing the name of the form, hello, you just type me and that will address the form, okay? But for now, what we want to do is we want it so when this button is clicked, it will display hello on this label. So all we do is go to the name of this and we double click this and it will generate a method stub. So basically it will generate another one of these and what it's basically saying is that when this is clicked, it will do whatever we put in this. Okay, so we now know that having this basically is telling the computer that when this button is clicked, run whatever we put inside of here. So what is it that we want to do? Well, we've said that when the button is clicked, a label will display the words hello. Now pretty much in anything you do in VB, you will always have to use the name of what you are doing. So for the label, we named it LBL hello. So surely we want something to do with LBL hello. So if we type LBL hello and then dot, this will then display a list of different things that is to do with that label. And what is it we want to do? Well, we want to change the text. So you can click text, and right now the text equals nothing. Quite simply nothing. That is what it is right now. So, well, actually, it's label 1. So right now, our label is set to this. So when this button is clicked, it will change this to the same thing. So quite simply, all we need to do is type lblhello.text equals, and then what we want it to equal. We want it to equal hello. So let's go back on what we've done here. When this button is clicked, it will change the text of this label to whatever we put between this. So it's hello. So if we run and we click show hello, we now get the message hello on the label. Okay, so a quick recap again. We first double click this to generate our method stub. This is a place where anything we put in the middle of it, it will do. So since this is when it's clicked, we wanted it to change the label text to hello. So that is what we needed to do. There is also other things we can do to that label. For instance, we can change the size of it, or we can make it visible, or we can make it the width different. So there's loads of different things you can do, and Visual Basic makes it really, really easy to find all of these different ways. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and it was helpful. If you did, please give this video a like, please subscribe to the channel, and comment if you had any questions, or if you have any, if you want to know something about another tutorial, or you want me to do something. In the next tutorial, I think we will go over just different colors of the forms, just to familiarize ourselves with what we are doing and how to write different things to do with our form. So I really do hope that you learnt a bit about how to use a button and a label on a form. Until next time, bye.